Do you think you're a fraud and that people are going to find out that you really don't know your stuff? That's what we're going to talk about in today's Weekday Wisdom. Hi, this is Carma Spence, the Own Your Awesome Mentor, and today is a little bit longer because the mind gremlin we're going to vanquish today is the imposter syndrome. This is really meaty stuff. I even have PowerPoint slides. Woo! So, check out what I had to say.
Now today, I'm going to talk to you about the imposter syndrome because this is a particularly insidious mind gremlin that the more successful you are, the more likely you are to experience it. In fact, Maya Angelou suffered from it, and I wouldn't be surprised if all those big name famous entrepreneurs you happen to use as your role models and idols, they probably feel it at times too. Now, just so that we're all in the same place, I'm going to define what imposter syndrome is. Now, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, who are American psychologists, defined imposter syndrome back in 1978 this way: phoniness in people who believe that they are not intelligent, capable, or creative despite evidence of high achievement. While these people are highly motivated to achieve, they also live in fear of being found out or exposed as frauds. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if you've experienced this. I know I so totally have at moments. There are times where I feel like I'm being pushed out to the edge of my incompetence, and I'm like, at any moment, people are going to figure it all out. But the thing is, since it's something that everyone who's really successful will probably face, you just got to learn to roll with it. Now, also to be on the same page, here are symptoms. One is self-doubt, a sense of incompetence. Frequently comparing yourself to others. Compare game's really bad. Low self-esteem and self-worth. Fear and anxiety, especially regarding about an achievement-related task. Immobility. Some people get so caught up in their imposter syndrome that they can't move forward. They experience stress and burnout. Often underperformance, because when you feel like an imposter, sometimes you hold back. You don't play full out. It is hard for people with imposter syndrome to accept praise or compliments, and they will often argue why praise they do receive isn't deserved. I know I suffered from that big time when I was younger, and I actually took a year where I practiced saying thank you when someone complimented me, and then just stop. Not thank you, but thank you, oh, that thing. I just said thank you, and I stopped. Now, at first, it was really, really uncomfortable, but over time, it got to the point where, okay, I can just say it. And sometimes I don't fully receive the compliment, but at least I'm not pushing the compliment back into the person's face, which is kind of not very nice. And an inability to enjoy your accomplishments. So you've just accomplished something amazing, and you're like, that was nothing. You don't enjoy what you've just achieved. Going overboard on a specific task because you're afraid of failing. You know, failure is a part of success. There's a book called Failing Forward that talks about this. And I mean, everyone's probably heard at one point in time, everyone brings up Edison. You've discovered 100 or 500 or whatever, how many ways, how to not make a light bulb. But he kept moving forward, needing to be the very best and diminishing your own talents when you aren't. Well, perfectionism is really bad. In fact, you might want to check out, there's a post on my blog over at carmaspence.com that is about a book called The Perfection Deception, but it's all about how perfectionism is really harming us. It was a really good read, so I recommend you read it. Setting nearly impossible goals and feeling disappointed when you fail to realize them. Well, that's just setting yourself up for failure. Hey. And I know when you're really ambitious, it's really easy to set yourself up for failure like that. So sometimes you have to think your big ambitious thoughts and then put milestones that are smaller along the way so that you can succeed. Feeling guilty because of your success. Well, that just comes from, well, I shouldn't be success, therefore I'm taking the success away from someone who really deserves it. And that's bull hockey puck in my opinion. So stop that if that's where you're going. In fact, research has shown that 70% of people have felt imposter syndrome, especially if they are smart or talented. So take this as a note. If you've ever felt that you are a fraud, more than likely, you're actually really smart and talented. Isn't that awesome? Food for thought. Unfortunately, I did some research on this because I didn't want to just say, oh, here's imposter syndrome and it exists. Oh, well, I wanted to give you some concrete ways that you could combat it. And the advice I saw wasn't that great, but it can move you toward, because ultimately what I discovered is that you're going to feel it. And you have to embrace it and move with it and learn from it. But here are some ideas that can help you live with imposter syndrome. Like I just said, invite it in and learn what it has to teach you. Sometimes that's easier said than done, but that's an idea. I think if you've gotten to the point where you're starting to realize this is just imposter syndrome raising its ugly head, that's silly old mind gremlin's trying to beat me down, then maybe you can go, oh, come on in, mind gremlin. How you doing? What do you want to teach me today? And then it might be taken aback and go, oh, well, I just wanted to teach you that you were smart and talented. Okay, cool, thanks. Be honest when you don't know things. Remember, being wrong doesn't make you a fake. Now, this is something I've known people who just absolutely cannot admit when they don't know something. They just claim they know things that they couldn't possibly know. And that just looks bad, because people can spot a fake. They really, really can. So don't do that. And the thing is, I've also written blog posts about how vulnerability is really key to being strong. Really, it's better to admit that you don't know something than to be found out later. Mentorship. That's another way to help you beat imposter fraud. Find a mentor who's been there, done that, for whatever it is that you want to be doing, and have them mentor you, because, when you start feeling imposter syndrome, they're going to know you well enough to go, okay, you're right. Right here, you probably are going a little bit beyond your abilities. Or they'll go, what are you talking about? You're awesome. Stop that. So mentorship can be very helpful with imposter syndrome. Another way to combat it is to channel your energy into learning. If you don't know something, but you think it's something you really should know or you want to know, start training in it. In fact, I'm a continuous learner, which of course is one of the traits of successful entrepreneurs. I may know a thing or two about videos or about social media. I mean, I've written a book about it, but I don't know everything. And so I'm constantly taking lessons to learn. And I remember now I've been writing since I was a toddler. I love writing. And for about 3 or 4 years, I've subscribed to Writer's Digest magazine, which is really aimed toward more beginner writers, but I liked reading it and subscribing to it because it always gave me a fresh perspective. Yes, I know this topic, but I missed that point when I learned the topic. Or, oh yeah, I remember that point, I had forgotten it. So continuously learning skills that even you think you know is a good idea and can help strengthen your ability to handle imposter syndrome. Here's a good one. Avoid defensive pessimism and self-handicapping. Oh, how many of us do that? We're like, oh no, things are going to go bad, because if you tell yourself things are going to go bad and then things go bad, you knew it all along. But if they go well, it's like, yay, that's icing on the cake. No, that actually is like reverse law of attraction. It'll make things go bad because it'll get into your subconscious and you'll end up sabotaging yourself. And this is a form of self-handicapping. Don't do that. This is like the worst thing you can do. It can actually make you an imposter when you aren't. So don't do that. Accept that you have some role in your success. Now, this is really for people who feel like, oh, I did this amazing thing, but it was just a fluke. No, it wasn't a fluke. Not everybody can do that. You had some role in playing your success. You did this. You did it. And even though maybe some of it was luck, okay? Some of it may have been luck. That luck wouldn't have happened if you didn't know something, if you didn't do something. You played a role in your success every time. Accept it. Focus on providing value. Because if you're always providing value, like I'm doing in these videos, I mean, I'm fairly new to Facebook Live. I don't get everything right, but I'm really focusing on providing you with really good information. And hopefully, you'll get value out of that. I'm focusing on value. And this is something that can help you overlook where you're not perfect and help you combat imposter syndrome. Here's a good one. And I've heard this a lot of times. Is keep a file of people saying nice things about you. And the reason why you keep that file is when you're feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, you get out your file and you read all these things that say you're wonderful. In fact, now this is kind of a funny story. When I was a kid, because I have dyslexia, we didn't know that at the time, but because I have dyslexia, it was really hard for me to learn how to read. Learning to read was really hard. Once I learned how, I shot to the top of my class and was reading like 12th grade level by the time I was in the 5th or 6th grade. But the beginnings was so hard. And so my dad, who's an educator, he'd bring home these books and he'd help me read them. And he'd teach me how to read them. And I remember reading The King, the Mice, and the Cheese. And it was so hard. But then eventually I got it and I read it. And every time I would complete one of these books, my dad would give me a little certificate and I'd laminate it. And I literally have a folder somewhere in that room back there, because I haven't unpacked it yet, of all these certificates that my dad gave me saying, Carma Spence achieved this, Karma read Little Dog Blue, or Karma read this. And, they're little things, but it's nice to look back and see that you did something that somebody else valued. You have awards, you have testimonials of how you've helped someone. Listen to those testimonials. Read those testimonials. People don't give testimonials about how awesome you are when you're not that awesome. They really don't. So it's a really good idea to keep that around. Realize when you hold back, you're robbing the world. Let me say that again. Realize that when you hold back, you are robbing the world. You see, you were born with this unique, wonderful gift, possibly even more than one, that you alone were meant to give to the world. And yes, that gift may look like a lot like a gift that somebody else is giving to the world. That's okay. Their gift is not the same as yours. It may be in the same topic, it may be in the same area, but only you can give your gift to the world in exactly the way that you can give it. And when you aren't giving that gift to the world, you are making the world a less good place. So stop holding back because you're afraid of being a fraud. What you're actually doing is being a thief, a gift thief from the world. So don't do that. So those are all the ideas of how you can vanquish that mind glare. Well, maybe not vanquish it, but at least get it to stop bothering you and holding you back. Try all those things and keep plucking forward because you are amazing. You are awesome. Own it. Okay? Will you do that for me?
I really hope that you got value out of today's clip. It really is an important issue, and you really need to face this. This is Carma Spence, the Own Your Awesome mentor, asking you to remember, don't box yourself in. Spread your wings and fly, because you, yes, you, are capable of more than you know. If you enjoyed today's video, please comment below. You know the score. Like it on YouTube. And let me know what you'd like me to cover in future videos. I really do want to hear from you because I want to make the weekday wisdom something that you value and that you look forward to watching.